Is Russell Wilson being disgruntled old news?
No, it's not. But some of what Pete Carroll said there is certainly true. They did handle it well internally. They didn't overreact to it. And it seems like Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll, the Seattle Seahawks, a group of people that compartmentalize as well. And I think this issue is on the shelf for 2021, and they're all in on this year, and they'll be focused and they'll do what they usually do and field a contending team. I think it comes up again next offseason. I don't think the issues are 100% resolved. I think they're resolved to the point where everybody can get along for 2021, and that's a good thing for the Seahawks. But I do think we will be talking about this again in the 2022 offseason. And to Pete Carroll's point, was too much made of it? His agent listed 4 teams he would accept a trade to. That is not a small thing.
Yeah, right.
We haven't even heard that from Aaron Rodgers. So listen, I think it's an issue that'll continue next offseason, yes.
You can't underline that enough times. This was not reports. These were not rumors. This was on-the-record commentary from Russell Wilson's own team saying that there are 4 places he'd be willing to get traded to. So clearly, this was a thing, whether it continues to be one or not. Dominique, do you buy that it's not a thing anymore?
Of course not, but I will see what they do this season, because it may not be a thing by the end of next season, because Russell's complaints was about how much influence he was having. They have a whole year to give him the influence that he needs. It was about how the organization was building around him and how they were game planning from game to game. So I do think this goes away if he addresses the concerns that he has and they build this team the way that he wants it to be built. But it does nothing but magnify and intensify if they continue to run the organization the same way. I'm not saying what they should do. I'm just saying that I think Graziano is right. By the end of this year, if they don't address it, Russ is going to force his way out, especially once the cap implications aren't as dire.
What do you think, Dan?
I mean, first of all, I think the team building is basically done in Seattle, and I don't think they really addressed the main issues that he has been complaining about when it comes to his protection. So that's number one. Number two, Russell Wilson would have to experience a little bit of a different season than he has, which is mean he won't get hit that much. That's been his big complaint, is I'm taking too many hits. And this is relatively the same offensive line that they had last year. Now, new offense should help schematically a little bit. But if this football season goes the same way as the past couple, we're like, Seattle's a good team, Russell plays great, he takes a ton of hits, and they get to like the second round of the playoffs, this is the number one story in the NFL the day their season ends, is what is going to happen with Russell Wilson. It's not just off the shelf. We're talking it's off the shelf and placed in the center of the room. So we can sit here and pretend, or because we're not in the heart of football season, that this isn't a big conversation. But let Russell Wilson take some hits, and let this offensive line be not protecting him relatively well, and this team kind of be, a solid football team. This will continue to be a heavy conversation. It'll be the number one thing we talk about when their season gets done next year.
Go ahead, Graziano.
And the one thing we heard consistently through all of this was one of the main holdups was Seattle did not have another place to go at the quarterback position if they traded Russell Wilson. They now have another full season to address that, and they may be in a better position from that standpoint next offseason than they were this offseason.
And again, Dominique, I would sort of say to you, if the issue here is how much is Russell Wilson going to get hit, well, I'm just looking at his division. Arizona added J.J. Watt. San Francisco's getting back Nick Bosa. The Rams still have Aaron Donald. I think it's safe to say Russell Wilson's going to get hit a little.
I know that is safe to say, but I don't think that was his issue. If you remember back to the comments that he made, he did say that he was getting hit a lot. But the thing that it seemed like he was most upset about was not being consulted. Like, that's where he said, do they consult with you on these type of roster moves? Do they talk to you on this? And he said no. Then the follow-up was, should they? And he kind of was like, yeah, they should. So I don't think it's necessarily about him getting hit. He recognizes that getting hit is partially his fault, and that's part of the playing the position. I think it's about him being a partner and not being just another soldier in the way that Pete Carroll wants to run that organization.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.